Welcome to eSeniors. This is the Watkins Glen race, GT3, where we have two classes, Platinum and Silver. So welcome everyone. This is race number 5 out of the 8 races in this season. So the standings right now, we have Peter Wolfslener. He's been winning the last 2 Platinum races, as you see. His points 168, and 20 points behind is Chris Moses, who will not drive today. He had another event going on, so he cannot participate. So that's going to be a big loss for him. Johan Larsson, though, is going to be able to harvest points, hopefully for him. So he's in P3 right now. And in the silver, we see Randy Zimmer. He's kind of running away here on, he's won the last 3 races. Lee Ellis, second place. It's 154 points, and Neil Leader, 120 points. So it's going to be interesting to see. We have quite a few guys on track right now, 33 drivers. And we also have Jonathan Wood going to be my co-anchor here.
Yeah, hey Krista,
and
how's it going?
Good.
I'm trying to hang on to my Mercedes right now on this track. I'm halfway around the lap.
Yeah, so Jonathan is our pace car driver with our cool livery with our sponsors on. So I'm going to switch over to that right now. And let me quickly just mention the sponsors that are big and proud here on this screen. So we have Sim3D. So they do custom hardware for your sim racing rig. They do dashboards, fan shrouds, elastomer kits, if that's how we say it, flag boxes, power supply brackets, magnetic shifter modifications, button boxes, and immersion kits, all sorts of things for your sim racing. Then we have Syndeo, and it's a UK-based company. Then we have Syndeo. They are technology brokers, and specialized on voice, IP, voice, contact center, and cybersecurity solutions for your business. So Syndeo's advisor will help you select the best technology solution for your business. And then to the right there, we have Castle and Cauldron. Specializes in handcrafted Harry Potter type stuff like magic wands, and they do like potions and wall and table accessories, holiday wreaths, Halloween decor, and all sorts of things, cosplay stuff. So if you're in the market for anything like that, check them out. So let's look a little bit here on the eSeniors pace car, as we call it, with Jonathan in the cockpit. So where are you right now? You are, I'm going to stay with you in the cockpit here. Then we're going to start a lap, and you can talk through the lap. And this Watkins Glen, it's in New York. Actually, racing started there 1948 on public roads. And later in like 1956, they started to actually do a racetrack and started the racing there. It's currently owned by NASCAR. And we can see those fences there that's preventing debris to hit the big grandstand. So here's Jonathan just about to start the lap. So Jonathan, when you're ready, just to talk us through.
Okay, well, so I'm coming out of the final bend onto the pit straight, which is a pretty short straight down to a right-hander. It's a second gear right-hander. Pretty difficult to see the apex here, but I'm going to give it my best shot. You can really eat up the apex there on the inside, eat up those curbs. You can run a little bit wide. This next section is flat out, but you've got to stay on this line. If you miss the line ever so slightly, you're going to be into the barriers on the right-hand side here. So make sure you are flat on the gas. We go down this straight here. We're going to come up to a really, really nasty chicane. So I'm going to try and brake a little bit earlier, down to 4th gear, over the curbs, down the 3rd, over the curbs again on the exit, flat out. I've got a little lift coming into this right-hand bend, which it's got a good amount of camber, up into 4th gear, This next left-hander, it's a late break, but you've got to really hit that early apex so that you can get on the gas as early as possible. Not crash on the exit. Ooh, that was rough. This next right-hander is a tough one as well, especially in this Mercedes. I get this mid-corner understeer, and as soon as I hit the gas pedal, I get oversteer. It really is an absolute pig. Next corner here is a right-hander. It's another second gear corner. And once again, if you miss that apex, you lose a ton of time. This next left-hander really does fall away. Really difficult corner. It seems that you're waiting before you get on the gas, and you can never get on the gas too early there. It's just awful. This next one, I'm just getting a little bit of a lift before getting back on the gas, and this is the final bend. Try and get on the gas as early as possible. Interested to see what my lap time is here as we go over the finish line. It is a absolute horrible 147.6. I'm good for 26 on the grid, Krista.
Well,
what do you think of that?
That was a great lap. Thanks for taking us through that. I think that was awesome. I got super excited. I could hear you fighting the car there at the track. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Seriously fighting. Yeah, not my favorite track, I have to say. And I haven't had any practice here today. I'm making excuses, but so Peter just posted a 143.7. So what was I? I am so far off. I am where I am. I'm almost 3 seconds off. That's not so bad without.
Yeah, 146.5 is your best there.
So Watkins Glen, upstate New York, very, very famous track. Formula One hasn't been here since the early 70s. There was a big loss, of course. I think it was 72 or 73. Francois Sever lost his life. Really grisly accident. But, generally speaking, Watkins Glen is very, very well known as a GT track and a NASCAR track. So we've had some amazing NASCAR races here over the years, and it is a lot of fun in the GT3. If you can get your car really hooked up, there is just so much lap time. But you've got to have a good setup. You can't just jump in with a default setup. You've got to work on it and figure it out. Switch on the tires. Switch on the brakes, make sure there's enough aero. Off camber turns and cambered turns. It's really, really difficult. And I think that what we're going to see here is a really big difference between the top guy and the guy in last place. You could see a 5-second difference, I think.
Yeah, if you haven't practiced this, and like you said, the setup, especially when you go through this chicane here, you need to be so aggressive on there, and you can't have a car that jumps like a kangaroo coming over those curbs. You have to just, it needs to be glued to the ground as you come out of it too. Super complex.
It is very complex. That chicane is like, it's a complete bitch, because if you turn in too late, as you said, you make a complete mess of it, and you start jumping up and down like a kangaroo, and you crash. If you hit the barrier on the left, it is a completely immovable barrier, and you smash the car to pieces, and you basically die. So you've got to. It's another one of those. You've got to break the same spot every lap after lap. If you go a little bit too deep, you will mess up the corner and potentially crash. We've seen so many crashes there in the last few years since we've had this track in ACC.
It was a very clean opening for the Porsche Cup. Everyone went really nicely through the first chicane there.
But how many cars were there?
I think there were about 20 on track, if I remember right.
Oh, wow.
So it was a good run.
And I hear there were no spins in the Porsche Cup race yesterday. Is that correct?
I did I had the kind of the incident recording, and I didn't see one single incident.
That is amazing. I mean, for the Porsche Cup, apart from anything else, it's so easy to spin that car. I think a lot of people, they don't like it because, it is very, very loose. But, once you get a couple of laps under your belt, it feels really, really good. So it sounds like we've got more people jumping in on the Porsche Cup bandwagon. But anyway, so here we go. We have qualifying is starting as of right now, and we're going to have our silver guys are going to go out in this first 15 minutes, and let's see what we get.
Yeah, let's see who is first out. That looked
Probably
like
quit, shouldn't I?
Simmer maybe was out first. And on the timing tower there, you see the silver drivers have the kind of the grayish silver background, and then white is for the platinum drivers. So what do you think we're gonna see time-wise on? If you're really fast here, I think it's like you're in the 43s. So maybe we're gonna see 45s from the silvers.
Yeah. 45s or maybe 46s. We shall see. We shall soon find out. You know, this is also one of those tracks where, you know, if it's your favorite track, you know, you can be like way faster than, you know, a track that you don't particularly like. You know, it really is a great equalizer. So we shall see. I do expect to see a big turnover in the middle of the grid. I think it's going to be very mixed, but yeah, maybe a 145. I think it's more likely that we're going to see 146s from the top guys in silver.
Yeah, and like you said, it's going to be a big spread between all the drivers.
Yeah, we can see that the pit lane here is very short, and there's not very many pit stalls, so we've got a lot of folks having to share their pit stall with somebody else.
And the favorite in the silver is obviously Randy Zimmer, that's won the last 3 races. Behind him is Lee Ellis, and Lee Ellis is the guy that we're gonna see with his Spitfire livery, which is just a really cool looking livery.
Yeah, so let's do a lap with Randy Zimmer. He's just gone across the finish line and into turn 1. He's hit that apex nicely, back on the gas. I see he's got ABS set to 2, TC 8, which is very high. And he has 58% brake balance, so a little bit to the front. Let's see how he handles the chicane. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, look at that. That's how to do it.
Yeah, good control.
How to do it.
And then,
yeah,
you know, the trick is to just get to the right here and just engage this fast right-hand turn.
So you come down the hill here, and you can brake really late down here, but then when you get back on the gas, it is so slippery. Got to be so very careful. That's where that TC is going to be very helpful to him. Coming now towards the end of the lap, this right-hander, it's very easy to miss the apex, but he's nailed it. It's also really easy to invalidate laps here, I find. This left-hander, we see a lot of crashes here as well. You know, you get on the gas too early and you go straight into the barrier. See what he does in this corner. He's just a little lift before he gets back on the gas. Looks like a really solid lap from Randy, this first lap of his. Let's see, as he comes across the finish line, it is a 45.890, so almost a 46 flat.
Yeah, that was a very solid lap from him.
Yep, Aaron Shannon. No, Stuart Charles has actually improved on Randy's time, a 145.5 in the McLaren. So we were talking earlier, Krista, about the fact that the top guys are in McLarens, and that this does seem to be a McLaren track. So maybe, you know, the McLaren really nails that mid-corner understeer. Instead, it just turns. We'll see a little later.
Yeah, Stuart Charles took the fastest, 145.5.
Yep.
So that's 0.3 faster. Welcome everyone on the stream. I see quite a few people there. So Billy and Arthur, and welcome. Don't forget to like.
It does normally take Randy a few laps to get up to speed. He's one of those drivers, and we were talking about this last week, who improves lap after lap, and so he's on his next fast lap, and he is like half a second up on that previous lap. So this should give him provisional pole position. comes into the third from last corner. He's 6/10 up. Lost a little bit of time there. Little lift here. He's on the curb. Yeah, lost a little bit of time there again, but he's still on pace. Take the pole position back from Stewart. Got a good exit from the final turns. He's 4/10 up, so that's provisional pole with another 9 minutes to go for these guys.
Yeah, good lap there. But now Stuart Charles is responding. He is actually on pace now for, and there he is. Stuart Charles takes provisional pole.
Yeah, tell me that's not a platinum driver lap. 44.8.
Yeah,
Sweet.
Stuart, he placed 7th in the last race. Before that, he did a P5. So maybe this is his track.
Yeah, maybe. So Messick in P3. Peter David P4. Banks in 5. Lee Ellis in his Spitfire P6. Aaron Shannon 7th. And Richard Colomb in P8. 2.5 seconds off the pace.
And we have a 1 hour race after this 15 plus 15 qualifying. And right now we have 34 drivers. So it should be event form. It's a high-speed track, really. But you still need downforce to manage the turn. So I had I had the highest downforce, or I had 10 out of 11 on the Porsche Cup. So also, if you haven't practiced the pit lane entry, you really need to do it, because it comes really quick, that 50 kilometer marker. So I would expect to see Lee Ellis a little bit higher. He's up on his time right now, but not really making any big impact to his previous lap time.
Yeah, I think Lee is better on race pace than he is on qualifying pace, though. So I wouldn't be worried about him. Randy K is going back out, so made a few changes.
David Lawrence up 0.4. Is that going to move him up any? No. Colomb is up half second right now. That could move him maybe 1 spot up if he completes this. He's losing a time here in the last couple of turns. Picking it up again.
Ooh! Randy Zimmer just crashed on his outlap. He was in front of Peter David. I was wondering if Peter was going to get balked by him, but then Randy just went off at the chicane and crashed.
Oh, that's unfortunate. I had to go back again and out again, so losing time. And they have, how much? 5 minutes left now?
Yeah, another 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, I guess you could do an out lap and a hot lap and maybe 1-2 hot laps.
Yeah, it doesn't take long for the tires and everything to get up to like racing heat in this track. I would say just 1 warm-up lap will do it.
All right, they want to see times on the screen, so let's put the time. Personal best coming up.
Mike Molesky is on an improved lap.
Yeah, so is
He's
David
a
Lawrence.
little over half a second up on his time.
Yeah, all the 3 last ones there in P10, 11, and 12, they are improving their laps, except for Mike. I think he had an issue. Lost his time. But Lawrence is up 0.6. Melvin as well.
Randy Zimmer's out on track again after his little crash on his out lap. So he's done another out lap. This time he's gone around a little bit more slowly and a little bit more carefully. But he's looking to take pole position. He's got the speed. Four different manufacturers in the top four, which is nice to see. Okay, so as he goes through that final turn onto the pit straight, looks like they're having a party in the pit lane.
Yeah, so he can do another hot lap. He wasn't on a valid lap there.
Yeah, no, he was on his out lap. He just got turn one all wrong and got all crossed up. So that really killed his speed down the straight. He's about even with his fast lap. So that's definitely on his next lap. That's where he's going to be able to capitalize and get a little bit more speed. Going through the chicane now, he's up by a 1/10 of a second. So he's definitely got potential here to be much, much faster. He's a 1/4 of a second up now. Looking for that apex on the inside. He's got it. Get back on the power. Yeah, you see, he went a little too deep. Got back on the power a little bit late, and he lost some time. This evil right-hander that you just get so much understeer, then oversteer on the exit. He's a 1/4 of a second up. He needs another 1/10 and a half. Will get pole position. He did it again. He went deep, gained the time, but then got back on the gas so late, he lost the time again. Whoa, he was a little bit squirrely on the exit there.
Yeah, he lost the time.
And yeah, he's lost it all. Yeah, you can see that, you screw up one turn, go a little bit too deep, and, you lose half a second, and that's it.
He has time for another one, though.
Yep. So there, he's invalidated that by the looks of it. Maybe not.
No, I think he's still
look
on
like
a
it's
valid.
a red lap. Yeah, I think so. But you saw there that, he really did. He got it crossed up again on the acceleration, and he's still up on his time. But if he were to get that right, he would be up by a half second at this point.
Oh, he's losing it there.
Ooh, yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah, he's quit. He's done. It's just not a big deal. He knows as well as everybody else that at the start of this race, he's going to be starting mid-grid because the Platinum guy is going to be ahead of them. But, yeah, it's going to be a matter of surviving the first few turns, or the first few laps, really, before settling in and getting down to racing Stewart in front of him.
We have 12 racers in the silver class. And 22 in the platinum.
Yeah, we'll see if any of these silver guys can show up the platinum guys. I think it's on the cards, personally.
Branko Beshak, welcome to the stream.
Hi, Branko. Hey, Stefan. Hey, Willie.
Just a couple of seconds, and then we're going to see the silver drivers coming out. I think Johan, who is first on the grid? I see people sitting there waiting to get out.
Yeah, they're all sitting there having a cigar and a waffle.
Yeah, starting to line up there.
I tell you what, I really like this format because, you can see as the time goes down.
There we go. Sit.
Yeah, as the time goes down, they start lining up. And something interesting also is from last week. So we saw that Joe Messick was in a whole bunch of different contretemps with other drivers, and he was deemed to have to be in the guy who is at fault, and he will be starting this race from the back of the grid. So out they come. See who's out front. Let's see, Peter Wolfschleiner. So Peter did not get out in the front. He normally likes to be the first guy out of the pits, and he is not. He has got guys who are potentially, 3 seconds a lap slower than him, or 2 or 3 seconds slower.
He's slowing down his out lap here to make sure he has distance to the guy in front.
Yep, I see that, but we'll see if it helps him. You can only do your best, right, when it comes to this kind of thing. But he does have 1, 2, 3. He's got 4. Yeah, and these guys in front of him, they're backing up as well, though. So this is like Formula One style. They're all backing themselves up. They're trying to get some space. Here he goes. Really, he's got foot to the floor. He really pedal to the metal. These 2 corners leading up to the main straight. So let's ride with Peter here. He goes down into turn 1. Grabs a little bit of curb on the inside, as much as he can on the outside. This stuff is all flat as well. Looking at some of his numbers, his setup, he has TC2, ABS 4, and brake balance of 49.2. What surprises me there is the ABS of 4. Comes into the chicane. He missed the third apex there, which was interesting. A little bit wide going around the right-hander. It's a little bit of an opportunity there, I think, Peter. Of course, he'll probably take pole position by like 2 seconds or something. Here I am with my thumb in my ass, sitting here watching. See how this goes. This right-hander, which he's got so much understeer, then an oversteer on the exit, but no, he's got it absolutely planted. He's clearly got the car like really well dialed in.
Yeah, plenty of space. Problem with being that fast is that you're catching the guy in front real quick, but he has room to finish at least this lap.
Yeah, now this car's on rails. Wow, that left-hander, he lifted for maybe a half a second. That was it. So Peter on his lap, he did a 144.3.
Not too shabby.
Too shabby, but Stuart Charles was less than half a second behind, which is interesting. The silver guy in pole position. Tommy Hellstrom just 0.2 of a second behind Peter. Sylvain Desart another 0.7 behind. Patrick Larson a second behind. Miche Paunoff in P5, now down to P6 in his Ferrari. We have an all McLaren and Ferrari top 8. How does that work?
Yeah, interesting. This is for sure the McLaren track, it looks like.
Yeah, well, these teammates, Peter, Johan, and Tommy, they're currently first, second, and third. There's 0.2 of a second between them. Peter's current lap is 0.4 faster. He's halfway around the lap right now.
And I'm gonna go and have a quick break. I'm gonna keep the camera on autopilot and see what happens. Jumps around by itself, so I'll be right back.
Okay, well, it looks like it's sticking with Peter right now, who's on this quick lap. So this is his second fast lap. He's a half a second up on the guy on his last lap, on his last fast lap. So as he comes around the final bend, he's 6/10 up now. And this is going to be a 43.7. Yep, 43.782 for Peter Wolfschlainer. Switch to Sylvain Desart, who his last lap was a 44.6. Daniel Bridos on screen, currently in P11 under number 15. This is Daniel is Argentinian, been with us for since day one at eSeniors, I believe. Great driver. He's always got a very, very wide car, so if anyone is ever behind him, it's always going to be interesting, always fireworks. He's got that great Dell livery on his car. Okay, so your top 5 is Peter Wolfschlainer, Johan Larsson in P2, Tommy Hellstrom in P3. These guys, they consider themselves teammates. They practice together all week. Then P4, Sylvain Desart in his Ferrari. Meche Paunoff, Ferrari again. Steve Young has put his AMG Mercedes up into P6. He's a second off currently. Stuart Charles is P7. Of course, he is not in this group. He is the silver group, but it's cool to see that, he's mixed it up with these platinum guys who should be a lot faster than him. Andy Driscoll in P8. We're watching Steve Young on the screen right now. That was a bit of a slower lap from him. So hopefully he'll pick up speed. And of course, Steve is our current GT3 champion here at eSeniors. So he joined us in the last season, and he fought like hell. He really did all season. No one really dominated, and he came out of that last race the winner of the championship. So he's currently P7. I expect him to move up.
And I am back. Yeah, Steve Young, we mentioned him, so he sits in P4, just behind Johan Larsson with just 4 points. So I think between Johan and him, that's a little battle. Right now, Steve is a little bit behind him though. But 1:43.7 here by Peter, that's really good.
Yeah, it's quick. But, anything can happen here, right? So one of the issues that we have here is back markers. If you get a back marker and the wrong spot, for example, going into that chicane with its 4 apexes, you are really, A, you can lose a ton of time, and then B, there's only one line through there. And, if you and the back marker in front of you have a miscommunication, or you just get them in the wrong spot, you're looking at a big accident. So we've seen it before. I remember, I think the last time we were here, we had, who was it? I think it was Robert Obando was like in P2. I think he was challenging for P1 and came across a back marker, and they just had one big wreck. It is what it is, but it's something we can definitely look out for here. So no matter how fast Peter is, I don't think this is going to be won and lost in qualifying.
Let's see, Mike Meleski have joined us here in the studio. Taking a break from your qualifying there, waiting for Platinum to complete.
Yeah, hey, Mike.
I always listen to you guys.
So how was it for you out there on track? Do you like this track?
I do like the track, but I don't have the speed with the BMW. The BMWs aren't doing so well today, are they?
They're heavy. I think that's what it is. You need a pointy
Johan
car,
just
fast
improved, but he's a 10.5 down, still on Peter. But he's still super, super fast. So, yeah, I mean, you can tell that between Peter and Johan, there's basically nothing in it.
And Nikos joined the stream.
Nikos, I thought you were going to be racing, dude. You said last week that you're going to be racing this week, so I want answers now. Come on. No excuses.
So we see here that there is a little bit of overlap here now with the silver and platinum. With Stewart really did a fantastic qualifying, being way up into the times there of this platinum. So. And that's going to be interesting for his race strategy, because he's not really racing the platinum guys. He just need to make sure he has the tempo to stay away from Simmer, who is the second guy in the silver. Willie says that BMW is like driving a dump truck.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump away from it next year.
It's funny, isn't it? It used to be the car to have. They used to say that it was the cheat car because it was so easy to drive everywhere. Not anymore.
You know, I switched from McLaren to Ferrari, but I'm gonna go back to McLaren again. Too much to relearn. I feel so comfortable in McLaren, so that's what I'm gonna do. And Willie will go to the Lambo.
Wow, really, Willie? That's like that thing's a death trap.
Tell him he can't afford it.
All right, let's see how they're doing. Mark Stevens up a little bit, 0.3, currently in P15. Let me switch over to show the Delta.
Well, Johan Larsson just started his quick lap. He's a 10th up already going into like T3. Let's see what he can do. He only needs 0.153 to take pole position. That's assuming that Peter doesn't go any faster.
Yeah, and he's actually faster right now. We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, well, Johan really is throwing this car around. He just zoomed through that chicane. Going a little bit wide out of that right-hander. Still in the green. In fact, both of these guys, both Johan and Peter, they're both running green laps. Johan has the slower traffic in front. Not sure who that is. He has Brian Chubb in front of him. Look like he's going to get held up. Not much opportunity left now to gain time. Gained a little bit there, but now he's lost it again. He's going back into the red. Well, now he gained a little bit of time there in coming into the last turn. He's a 10th up. 0.13 up, 0.14. Come on, we're 0.15. Oh, come on. 5 thousandths of a second was in it. And Peter went a little bit faster. Peter went faster by like 12 thousandths of a second. So it's like 0.022.
Oh, that's so even.
The gap between Peter and Johan. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, I think Johan is now back in the pit smoking his cigar.
Mirshponov is P6. He had a great pace here yesterday in the Porsche Cup. Doesn't seem that comfortable in the GT3 here, though.
Oh, actually, he just got leapfrogged by Terry Trowbridge. A great lap by Terry to go P6. That's fantastic. I think Terry might be our oldest driver. I think he's in his 70s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
I know we have a driver that's 72.
Yeah, I think that might be Terry. It's 72 or 73,
yeah.
Something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Apologies, Terry, if I've got it all wrong. We love you, man.
Yeah, Terry's best placement so far is P11 last race. So let's see what he can do this race.
Yeah, Steve Howell says Terry is 73 73. Oh no, Terry is in the chat. He says he's 74.
That's awesome.
Wow, goodness. Awesome. Dude, you're so fast. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, great run there. Yeah, Peter even improved his time here. 1:43.6.
Yep, top 7 is all Ferrari and McLaren. Steve Young in the AMG, second off in 8th place.
Yeah, all right. So we will hold a little bit while we're waiting for the race to start. I'm just going to put on this nice graphic that's not made by ACC TV. That's the broadcast
I'll be right back.
Yep. That's the broadcast software we're using, ACC TV. Great ability to customize. I have tried to do some programming to do some modifications on the layouts, but I haven't been successful yet. There we go through the S's. Coming out this long straight, coming into this little chicane, starting the inner loop. And then we go through this thing that looks like a boot, so they call it the chute. And then we're coming into the toe. And we're going uphill a little bit. And then the heel. And then this really difficult left-hander where you can destroy your whole lap timing. And that's a full lap at Watkins Glen. So we will be right back.
Alrighty, so we are on the grid here. We have a minute and 30 seconds before they roll off. Of course, we have a big grid, so we do a full lap before we show the green flag. See, we have new people, so I would say Randy Zimmer and Stuart Charles, they're pretty deep into the platinum field. But pretty much everybody else is, it makes sense with the split between silver and platinum. Only Ollie Lenortner and Don Queen are pretty, well, Don Queen is deep into the silver guys in 28th, but I expect he'll move up pretty quick. Always a quick starter is Don. I understand that Joe Messick is in P22, but he will be starting from the rear. You with us, Krista?
Yes, I am. Just going through the different cars. Mark Stevens. I wonder if we have Liliana here to root for Paolo. I haven't seen her in the chat. Randy Zimmer, currently leading the Silver Group. He has a little work to do to catch Stewart. That's going to be fun to see. Daniel Britos, a prolific driver from Argentina, and Jeremy Robas, Pit La France, Canadian livery there, looks good. Ollie from Australia. Aaron Shannon, Lee Ellis, Richard Colomb, Don Queen, Peter David. And here's this livery here, James Parks. I haven't seen him before in the Sprite livery. That car looks cool. I love Sprite.
Yeah, oh wow, that is cool.
Melvin Schmidt, Mike Maleski, and David Lawrence, and Neil Leader in his Tartan. Yeah, let's hope we don't have any calamities.
Yeah, we shall see. We have 34 cars on track, so the likelihood is that you're going to see some contact. Hopefully not. You know, there's some spots in this track that you just cannot go side by side. So Joe Messick will be starting from the pit lane, as will Jeremy Arabas.
Yeah, so do you see him in the pits, or how will that work? Was he told that he starts in the pit?
Yeah, so I believe what happened was he did qualify. He did his qualifying. He qualified, mid-grid, and he was told to start from the back. So he dropped to the back of the grid, but then he was teleported back into the pits.
Okay. And we have one mandatory pit stop. And we have 34 cars. It's a good number of cars.
Yeah, that's a really good number of cars, and that's actually perfect. So what's going to happen at the start here? Do you think these three guys, so Peter Wolfschleiner, Johan Larsson, and Tommy Hellstrom, do they race each other? I mean, are they racing, or are they just like, oh, after you, no, after you?
I think they're going to be racing, but they're not going to take each other out.
Okay.
This is like a team. Maybe we should have a 3-car team for next season. You team up with 3 other cars and run the same livery. And
I think that's a great idea. I'd love to see that. I think it would make the show much, much better.
Yeah.
And the different talking point, See friends team up. All right, so we are almost to go.
Yeah, we're in formation. So Wolfsländer have the inside line into turn number 1, which I think is a benefit.
Yeah, definitely.
See how his helicam on this track is not the best, and there is
already
flag.
drive-through penalties.
Ouch. Yeah, Sylvain Dessart have a good start coming on the inside. Oh, we see a little yellow flags in the back. Just panning back real quick. Looks like the 3 first guys are coming through really well. Steve Young, a good start there in front of... yeah, he's in the Mercedes. And here we come up to the chicane. almost touching. Very nicely done in the first couple of cars. At least a couple of people go wide. And
Yeah,
those
we've got
barriers there, there's a hard stop on
big
those barriers.
problems. Yep. So Lee Ellis and in the 337, he already had a drive or stop and go penalty. Now he's stopped at the chicane. He's probably done also number 146. I saw Derek Bird had a problem in T1 and also going into the chicane. Yeah, Derek
Thanks,
Bird,
going
I
wide.
think. And we've got 3 people in the pits, so 337, 15, and 146. Okay, so
Now we got that taken care of.
now we've got that. Yeah, that taken care of for 1 lap.
The chicanery.
We've got to do it again, lap 2.
Yeah, at least we got to be a little bit more spread out. I saw so far 8 contacts have been recorded as part of the start. Yeah, and those barriers there are hard stops. You can't drive through them like you can do in like Monza, and you know, styrofoam is like going everywhere.
Ooh, so what's interesting here is with all of that, so you've got Stuart Charles and Randy Zimmer are nose to tail. There's nobody between them, so they're fighting. And Stuart Charles is definitely faster than these guys ahead of him. He's got Paolo Nove and Mark Stevens. They're coming into the chicane right now. The second time. Looks good. I'm looking for yellow flags as everyone files through. Everyone's being good right now. But yeah, so Stuart Charles, he's going to want to get ahead of these guys in front of him. You know, that he's not fighting for points with them, but he's got Randy Zimmer really, you know, right on his tail. So he's going to want to hustle. He's going to want to get some cars between them.
Yeah, Randy's up 4 positions, and that's exactly what he needed. And Charles lost 2 positions. So now they have the fight we were looking for. A little bit earlier than I thought it would be. Ponov is up to P6. Desart was dropping quite a bit. Had a little problem going through the chicane. See what's going on. Melvin Schmidt, Britos, and Ellis sits in the pits, I think, still.
Yeah, I think they just had catastrophic accident damage in the chicane. They must have hit that immovable barrier, and that was it.
Craig Holmes is challenging Terry Trowbridge. He's going to go on the inside, maybe. No. So Terry
Nice.
Trowbridge is in P8. We recognized him for being the oldest. On the
Oldest,
track, I
but not
think.
the slowest.
No. Paolo runs in P11.
Craig's got some really good speed compared to Terry down the straight. He really did gain on him there.
Right, if you look in the back, so we have a couple of platinum drivers ended up back here. We have Andy. He is down 18 positions, so he was involved in issues. Neil Leader, he's up 6, it says here, which is a little bit odd.
146 has a stop and go penalty.
Oh, that's Melvin Smith. So he must have come out of the pits and
Too
speeding.
quickly. Terry Trowbridge going around, trying to go around the outside of Sylvain Desart. He's gone wide, which has given Craig Holmes the opportunity to close up a little bit. And then you've got Mark Stevens behind him.
We have a little
Great little battle here.
quartet. With Paolo in the back. And Peter is Wolfslener finding his groove. Fastest lap right now. Oh, late braking by Paolo, getting a little advantage here on Stevens. Coming up on the straight.
Yeah, Craig is much faster down the street than Terry. He's just got to capitalize on it a little bit earlier. Because it's just a little bit too late, and you just can't dive down the inside going into the chicane. You're just asking for an accident.
Yeah, I did the mistake in the Porsche Cup because I have this habit to maybe change gears a little bit too early, so I didn't run on fifth gear all the way up the hill, up to the straight, and boy did I lose time on that. And I got mauled. So here comes Paolo. Side by side. He has the inside. Late break. Is he gonna take it? Yeah, nice. Very nice pass there. Passing Mark Stevens for P10. Great move there by a classic pass with a late break.
Yeah, see if he can gain on Craig Holmes in front.
So the two Swedish McLarens are going strong here. Tom is gaining on Johan. And Steve Young is not far behind. And Peter Woslen is 1.5 seconds in front of Johan. So I think this gears up to be a nice little battle here. Steve Young is really going
looking
strong
good, isn't
here
he?
in this
He's
Mercedes.
looking really good, actually.
And you know how it is to drive the Mercedes, but he is really cooking in this one.
Yeah, I mean, clearly you've got to get it, fully dialed in. And he sure has. Peter's not really pulling away. He's a second ahead of Johan. I mean, with these three guys fighting, he might actually just get away, but as it is right now, it's pretty status quo. What is impressive is Rob McSharpenberry in P5 in that Ferrari. He's not that far behind either. He's like 3.5 seconds shy of Steve Young, but good to see him in the top 5.
Yeah, Sharpenberry looking for his position last race. Oh, Sharpenberry, this is actually his second race. He just raced the very first race. So he's back on track. So Johan Larsson now has the fastest, so he has really found some pace. Let's compare him with... Oops.
Have a look at this battle between Stuart Charles and Randy Zimmer. So Randy is right on Stuart's rear end. He's like, half a second behind, but he's looking for a way by.
Yeah, I'm sure Zimmer wants to have his 4th win. And next race is going to be Spa. Okay, please concentrate on mid backpack. Well, we'll try to look at where there's actually people that
Well, you know, some of the
People that are
battles
close.
right now, you know, this is one of the most important battles is Stuart Charles against Randy Zimmer. Let's see. Further back, you have Bruce Hopkins is challenging Peter LaFrance for P14. Then a gap of 8 seconds to Richard Colomb in P16. Aaron Shannon is right on his tail. Then a couple of seconds to Brian Chubb and Peter David. You have Derek Bird, must have been involved in that first lap accident, and he's in P20 trying to recover.
Yeah, I think Bird's car looked a little bit beat up. Jeremy seems to have good pace here, coming up on the James Parks in the 7-11, not 7 up livery, which I really dig.
Yeah, I'm looking at Derek's car, and yeah, it is pretty beat up. He doesn't have a floppy bonnet, but you know, it looks like somebody's keyed his car all the way around.
Yeah, I had I went in nose first and got the floppy bonnet in the Porsche Cup, and I was surprised. It didn't feel like the handling was bad, but I was just slow. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, you probably had like aero, so you're real slow on the straight.
Yeah, question here. Who did we lose? I can probably see that somewhere.
I can tell you. It is... Hold on. I can tell you. Hold on here. It is predictable. It's Don Queen.
Ah, Don Queen is out.
Yep.
Oh, Jeremy is about to catch. Let's see. Let's get into his cockpit here. See if we can do something. Maybe late break on the inside. See if James starts to defend. Jeremy looks a little bit on the inside. Is he going to do it? Yes, he is. Nice move. That's the same move we saw Paolo do. That's actually a good place to do a pass.
That's a really good move. That's a really nice clean pass.
Very nice.
I tell you what, Steve Young though now, he's 0.3 over seconds behind Tommy Hellstrom. He's definitely quicker than him. Really difficult to find a way past here though.
Patrick Larsson is trying to pass Ollie. Is he going to do it? He's well placed to do a nice slipstream maybe up on the straight. Larsson is back 8th position from his starting point. And here comes. Good run here on the Porsche. And he's going inside. I think Ollie lifted there to make it a little bit easier for him, which then gets him, Mr. Messick, behind Ollie. So see if he can do something. Scanning up the field, see where we have close battles. This is one of them that we're looking at. We haven't looked at Brian Chubb, and also Aaron Shannon is up on Richard Colomb.
We have had a
here
change
comes
for
inside.
P9.
That's the inside pass right there. This is the third pass we see in this corner. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, oh, that's a dive, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
it's a good dive.
Paolo Novaes did get past Craig Holmes, who's now in 10th. So now Paolo has Terry Trowbridge ahead of him. So let's see if he can make some headway against Terry, because Craig really wasn't doing it with Terry. He was trying, but he just couldn't find a way past. I think Terry must have some serious drag on that McLaren, because once again, just as Craig was like, you know, catching him in the straight, Paolo, it's the same. He's just catching him hand over fist at the end of the straight, but it's just kind of too little too late.
Question on the stream. What was the quali times on the Porsche Cup? I will look that up in just a second.
Oh, Terry's made a mistake on the exit there. Got really, really wide. Paolo's going to have a go sooner or later. It looks like Terry's having some trouble with his tires. He's out of the last two corners. He's been very, very oversteery. Oh, once again, he's like made a mess of that exit of that corner as Terry goes defensive. See what Paolo can do. Paolo's like totally on the edge. Oh, once again, Terry's missed the apex by a country mile there.
Behind him, Craig Holmes had to pull back. He almost lost it.
And it looks like Randy Zimmer has managed to get past Stuart Charles for top honors in the silver class.
Okay, the Stan was asking what's the quali time for the Porsche guys. Actually, I do not know. I don't have that recorded.
Yeah, I mean, just for FYI.
Paolo, he was almost getting into the rear.
Oh, all over the place.
Terry survived.
Yep. Just an FYI, so you can go onto YouTube or Twitch and you can see those replays of the Porsche Cup races. So yeah, definitely,
I think he was actually just looking at for the Porsche car, and the Porsche car, GT3 car. I guess you could go back a little bit on the stream, and look that up. I don't have the data until it's actually posted.
Let's see. I can actually tell you. So the fastest Porsche was Derek Bird, unsurprisingly, in the 992. His fast lap in quali was a 1:45.320.
Great.
Which was good for 18th place.
Here we follow Bruce Hopkins.
Craig Holmes is now getting dropped by both Terry and Paolo, interestingly. So we're coming up on pits, on pit stops. The pit window is open. We're 41 minutes in. Oh, sorry, we're 19 minutes in, rather. 41 minutes to left.
Oh, Sylvain looks racy here. He's trying to chase Mirsch. Battling for P6. Looks like Peter have really stretched out here. He's put 2.8 in 3 seconds in front of Johan.
Yeah, and Steve Young has dropped back a little bit from those three McLarens as well. So I think for Steve, it might actually be good for him to pit early and do an undercut, because he potentially he's faster than those McLarens. Same goes for Paolo. Paolo, he's right on Terry Trowbridge's tail. I mean, he's clearly a lot faster than him, but it's very, very difficult to get past. So if he's smart, he's going to duck into the pits early, get a few fast laps, and then Terry will go in and pit, and then when Terry comes out, he'll be behind him. Definitely a fun race, though, between Terry and Paolo.
Yeah, they're really fighting here. He's going to do an inside move.
And not quite close enough.
And I think, Paolo goes wide. I think maybe Terry is actually backing up Paolo to the guys in front. They're gaining on them.
I don't know, because Craig is falling back. He's got lots of speed down the straight. He's closer, but just not close enough. You can't just make a dive down there, because it'll just be a big wreck.
Yeah, I jumped over to Bruce Hopkins. He had to lift a little bit, so he was really trying to catch Peter LaFrance, but he's lost a little bit of time. Let's jump to Brian Chubb. Coming through the chicane in pursuit of Richard Colomb. Had a good exit.
Randy Zimmer very, very close to Mark Stevens.
Yeah, so Randy passed.
And he's
Stewart.
going inside. He's going to have a look going into the next right-hander. I think he's going to make a dive now. Yep. And
this is not for position really. Zimmer is now leading with the silver.
But strategically, it makes sense for Randy to get ahead of Mark Stevens because he wants to put somebody between himself and Stuart Charles. It makes perfect sense for him.
Yeah, that's the strategy you can play when you have these two categories, and especially if you're really fast in your own category. Mark Stevens really want to get ahead of him. But that's all fair and square. Who do we have? Chubb. Look at Chubb, see if he's going to be able to take Colomb here. He's going on the inside. Oh, he's backing out. That was a wise decision. That could have been pretty bad. He had to regroup as he gets up on the straights. Let's see, let's go back to Paolo and Terry. Here's Paolo looking on the inside. Terry, I'm sure he's sweating. P8.
He's a wily old guy, is Terry, isn't he?
Yeah. Would be
staying on the line.
Would be a great finish for him, but there's a long time left. 37 minutes left for the race. We're going to see pit stops here, probably 10 minutes from now. A couple of guys have pitted, but I think that was for damage.
Yeah, Derek Bird was pitted. It'll be interesting to see how many places he gains, or whether he comes back into the pits for another set of tires.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Get the algorithms working for us. We get a lot of traffic actually on our videos, which is really fun and great to see. So the field is pretty much stretched out. If we look at the track map there, this is the closest battle on track right now between Paolo and Terry. Coming into the chicane.
I'll take it. Yeah, it's a good battle.
It is a good battle. McLaren versus Ferrari.
The flames spitting out of the back of Terry's McLaren.
And Craig Holmes is faithfully following along behind. He seems to have a little bit more trouble with the track in his Audi.
Yeah, it sure is getting spread out. See, Steve Young is closed up a little bit on Tommy for third position. He's less than a second behind, but he's not really challenging. He's just able to stay with him. He's not clearly quicker. But, anything can happen with these pit stops that are coming up. So, you screw a pit stop up by 1 second or 2 seconds and you lose a place.
Yeah, I'm looking at Andy Driscoll's car and he has a floppy bonnet and Brian Banks is chasing him. So he can't wait to get into the pits and repair that because I think he's really hurting.
Yep, first of the leaders is in. So Rich McSharpenberry is in the pits. Like he got pit stall number 1. Brian Chubb is in. Joe Messick has climbed to P20. Is he really?
Yeah, and Andy Driscoll in his floppy bonnet is really challenging David Lawrence in the Porsche. And yeah, Lawrence goes in, but Driscoll stays out. I think Andy Driscoll is one of those guys that goes in really late. But with this floppy bonnet, I wonder if it's wise to stay out.
I'll tell you what, Joe Messick is on an absolute tear. So he started from the pits. He started from the pit lane. So he was even further back than having started, you know, from the back of the grid. And he's currently in P19.
Yeah, good for him. P18, yeah, no actually. Now we have had a few guys pitting too, so... But he's Messick, has he...
Terry Trowbridge into the pits as well now. So now this is going to be Paolo's chance to get by Terry. I just want to take a look at Paolo's. Oh no, Paolo's coming into the pits now as well. Okay.
His car is really banged up, Paolo's.
It is?
Yeah, his front.
Wow, it is, huh? Yeah, he's got a floppy bonnet.
Yeah.
I wonder what happened.
Oh, Steve Young went off. Let's see what happens there real quick. Oh, Steve Young just went off and...
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see how this all shakes out. Peter is still running.
Terry says that Paolo took him out. He's got 4 minutes of damage.
Oh.
Oh, ouch. Let me see if I can find the replay of that and just to check it out. I'm just watching a replay of Terry and Paolo on their last lap. See what has happened between these two guys. Looks like Paolo, as they went down the back straight towards the yeah, as they went back, I'm watching it over. So as they went down the back straight towards the chicane, Terry moved over on Paolo. They touched, and then so Paolo went the other direction, and Terry moved over again, and they touched again, and they wrecked. So I guess the stewards will be taking a little look at that after the race. Won't we?
Yeah, if it's reported, yeah. I'm sure we'll look at it. So.
Yeah, the thing is, Terry, is that you got a faster car behind you. Can't keep moving over. When you, I would say watch the replay. Watch the replay. See, somebody has a stop and go. Who has a stop and go? It is Ollie Lenortner.
Ouch.
Stop and go 30 seconds, so he has pitted already, so he must have been speeding when he came out of the pits. See, the leaders have pitting or have pitted. Stuart Charles in P17 currently. Brandy Zimmer is currently in P6. So I wonder what happened there. So, well, no, he's still there. He's yet to pit as Randy Zimmer. And actually, he's coming into the pits right now. So it'll be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Stuart Charles, who's currently leading that class.
Yeah, so where's Stuart on his lap?
Stuart is around the back of the track right now. He's number 5-6. No, he's not. He's number 722.
And he's done with his pit stop. Okay, he's coming up the little hill there.
Joe Messick up to P11. He still hasn't pitted. Well, maybe he's in the pits right now. He's in the pits right now. So see how far he falls down the field. But he was absolutely on a tear. Steve Young is in P11. And the top 10, we still have 4 people who have yet. Well, 4 people who are in the pits, actually. Peter Wolfschlainer, Mircea Paunov, Sylvain Desart, and Aaron Shannon have yet to pit. And that, in fact, Peter just peeled into the pits just right now.
Yeah, and here comes Stewart coming, just completing his lap, and Zimmer is out on his lap, so he's coming up the hill. So he has quite a cushion now to Charles with 2 cars between the two. Mileski, is he in the pits yet? No, he's not. He's still out.
And Paunov and Desart are in the pits now as well.
And Johan Larsson has the fastest lap, but he still hasn't really done any inroads. He is in P2 when everything is shaken out when it comes to the pit stop. I think the Sart went into the pits now. Or Wolfschlainer coming out of the pits.
Yep. And 848, which is Johan Larsson, he has just gone. He's just gone past. Is that? No. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong person. No. So yeah, Peter Wolfschlainer is still leading.
Yeah, Shannon sits between them. He still has to pit.
Yep, Aaron Shannon is only half a second off the outright lead, but he hasn't pitted yet. Johan, 6 seconds off of Peter in P2, essentially. Then Steve Young. So what happened to... Oh, no, Tommy Hellstrom got a 30-second stop-and-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So he completely screwed his race. That sucks. He was running, what, P3 or P2, P3?
Yeah.
He was at P3.
P3.
So, yeah, so he has cleared his pit. Now he's now running in P10.
Shannon is still running. But he's slower now. He's a second and a half slower than his best. Shannon, so it's time for him to gain, I think. We are more than halfway through, but he's staying out.
Yeah, I guess he's just running long, isn't he? He wants some airtime, Krista.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's getting it.
Yeah, and his colorful car there, which is the CYMK, the kind of the basic colors that are used for printing. That's what that is about. So he's in P2 right now.
Everyone is pretty spread out right now. See, Patrick Larson is a half a second off of Peter LaFrance for P12. Tommy Hellstrom, so he's in P14, and he's so much faster than the guys ahead of him. So we should see him improve. But I mean, he really is. He's just got so much time to make up, and it's doubtful that he'll even get into the top 10. To be fair.
So where is Zimmer?
He is in P22. So Randy Zimmer.
How did that happen?
What happened there? Yeah, that's a good question. So he's in P22, and he is in P1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's in P6 in his class right now, which is interesting. I wonder what happened, though. Let me have a look at his car to see what kind of a state it's in, because perhaps he went off.
Yeah, question on the stream. What happened to Simmer?
So looking at Randy's car,
Interesting battle here between Messick and Chubb. Messick being silver and Chubb being yeah, Messick silver and Chubb is being platinum.
so I don't see anything wrong with Randy's car other than a bit of dirt here and there. Doesn't have a busted car, that's for sure. I'm going to have a look at the replays and see if he had a problem.
So Paolo is making a move on Chubb, or on Messick rather. And that's so successful. There was a little door bumping there. Maybe I'll go back and look at that real quick. Yeah, I missed it. Brian Chubb chasing Richard Colomb.
So Randy Zimmer, he made a second pit stop. So I think maybe he came in and didn't change tires.
Oh, wow.
Just got fuel and just had to come back in and get tires. Yeah, he made 2 pit stops.
That's unfortunate. Really.
Yep. Hey, we've all done it before, right?
Yeah.
I did it from the freaking lead in the Porsche Cup race at Nürburgring in the wet. I was killing it.
I'm sure you're still waking up dreaming about...
Yeah, no, I have nightmares about it. How embarrassing.
Following Brian Chubb in silver or platinum, chasing Colomb in the silver. Try to get past him.
Amazing how spread out it is right now.
Yeah, sometimes after the pit stop there is a little lull, and then the people start to catch up with each other again.
Tommy Hellstrom has gotten past a few slower cars. He's in P11, but he's like 9 seconds off of Stuart Charles and another 10 seconds off of Bruce Hopkins. So to gain points in his championship, he needs to basically make up another like 15 or 20 seconds. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to Spa.
Yeah, that's a great track.
We have too many dinky tracks.
I vote. They might be rain there. I don't know.
You think so? Oh, that would be cool. Well, I vote for a return to all the classic tracks.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you do season 9 gonna just be the classic tracks.
Yes, sir.
Suzuka, Spa.
Monza, yeah, Suzuka, Brands Hatch. You know, get some of the original tracks.
Oh, we have a little P13. Patrick Larsson had a little happen there. Oh, I had a little excursion.
Yeah, his car's pretty beat up now.
Yeah. Had problems in the chicane. And Wolfslen is just having a good time there in the front. 7 seconds in front of Johan Larsson.
Yeah, Steve Young consolidating that place in P3. Rich McSharpenberry is second behind Meche Paunov. Let's have a look at this.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, this is his only second race. He raced the first one, didn't really place that well, but clearly he's a fast driver.
Yeah, and he is catching Merche. So Merche's last lap was a 45.6, and Richard's last lap was a 45.3. So he's definitely catching him. They both got identical machinery. They both got those Ferraris. Yes, Stefan, 40 cars at Brands Hatch. Why not? Pandemonium, baby. Keep it on the road.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna see 40 plus cars though. Couple of, I mean, we still have a lot of people signed up, but
We see what we need to do is have that track, like the shortest track, the first race on the calendar. So, you know, we get the maximum amount of cars on the track.
maximum carnage.
maximum twisted metal.
That's it. So John Messick is really trying to do something here on Richard Corum. He's been behind him for the longest time now. I think he's holding him up a little bit. See Derek Bird, yellow flag on him. Ouch, what happened? What happened to Derek? Let's do a replay on Derek. Here's Derek coming up the hill. Is he another victim of... all of a sudden he was in the barrier.
Yeah, he was offline. He was offline going through there by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think maybe he was yielding because he had the blue flag.
Yeah, really strange.
So you go back to John Messick. Continues to work on Mr. Coulomb. "17 guys watching the stream. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Let us know if there's something specific you want to see. Right now, it's not much going on the field. This is actually the closest battle now with Messick, who has worked himself up from starting on the pit lane. So he's been doing a good job recovering that into P18.
Yeah, and they're coming up on Mike Molesky. He's got in the blue flag. Mike moves over.
Yeah,
Lets
nice.
them by. Good job. Richard gets a wheel on the grass there. Joe is awfully close.
These are all battles for position in the silver group.
Yeah, and Aaron Shannon is right behind Joe as well.
Yeah, Derek sits in the pits. I think he abandoned his race.
Yeah, he's had a bad race from the word go. I mean, he got involved in that big accident at the start, and from then on, he was on the back foot.
So does Jeremy. He also sits in the pits. So this little triplet we're watching here, that's the closest race on the track right now, with Shannon Messick and Richard Coulomb fighting for the mid-pack. Oh, we get the report. Hellström passed Charles.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty obviously going to happen here. As Joe Messick tries to dive inside of Richard Coulomb, does Richard give him room? Yes, he does.
Oh, that's a very nice
job.
pass.
Nice job, Joe. And now Aaron Shannon is trying to have a go.
Nice.
As Richard moves over a little bit on Aaron, then he thinks twice about it and moves back. Lets Aaron past.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's great racing there.
Yeah, very nice. Yeah, probably Richard. He felt that he was clearly faster. Yeah, Hellström is in the platinum, so he moved away from Charles there. Charles is the leader now in the silver group.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised to see Hellström get past Charles. I mean, they're in two different groups, and Hellström is the top 3 driver. He just had a They had a stop and go penalty for speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately, which dropped him back. But that was really, really fun racing there. But I've got to say, you know, Joe Messick, you know, he was told during qualifying that he was going to have to start from the very back. He was told he was reminded by Jeremy, and you don't know what's going on in the cockpit, in Joe's cockpit, but clearly, you know, he's just put his head down. He put the bit between his teeth, and he's in P17, and he started P34. So he would be my bet for, or my vote for driver of the day.
Yeah, maybe that's what we should do, a little poll here for you guys that follow this. What do you say? Who's the driver of the day? Yeah, one guy we talked about, and where did he go? Oh yeah, there was Terry. We talked about Terry, but he unfortunately he went off, or was helped off, or however we say that.
Yeah, I would say he had an assist, but I think, you know, he was part of that assist. You know, I'm sure he would disagree with me, but there's always two sides to every story when it comes to you know, coming together. You know, it takes two to tango.
Yeah, here comes Patrick Larsson passing Charles, who was smart there, Charles, because he realizes these guys are not too racing. So he's gonna see Paolo and also Brian Chubb coming behind him. And he's yielding to them, which is smart. Now he has Peter David 2.3 behind him, so that could be interesting if Peter is able to catch up here to Charles. It could be a little battle here in the end. Maybe we have 12 minutes left.
Yeah, what's really cool to see though is the split between silver and platinum. It really is. You know, at P15 is Stuart Charles, and then you have Peter David in P16, and then Joe Messick. And basically, you know, everyone thereafter is a silver driver. The only platinum drivers are those who have had like some serious problems. So it really is split into two, like as it was intended. Once again, the admin's doing a great job splitting up these groups.
I have to have a look at this Sprite livery here on James Parks real quick. Very cool.
Yeah, I was talking to James earlier. He was reminiscing on having lived in San Diego, because that's where I live. You know, he was in the military there for a number of years. So it was cool to chat about that.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. So we see Peter David is really making inroads on Charles. Charles is not really having the pace. Peter David is coming up to actually his fastest lap, about gonna have a good pace now. So I think this is gonna be interesting.
Stuart Charles, his last lap was a 152.6, and Peter David's was a 47.1. So clearly Stuart, he must have gone off somewhere.
Now what happened was that he was actually yielding to those cars that came through, Chubb and Paolo. And I think he lost a little bit he lost a little bit too much time there. There's one thing to yield, but I think he spent a little bit too much yielding, so now he's reaping the negative benefit.
I was going to say, there's no reward there.
Another guy doing good here is Larsson coming up on La France, keeping an eye on that too.
But then I think Peter is still faster than Stuart. So Stuart's last lap was a 47.5 after letting those guys pass. Peter is a 46.7, so he's almost a second faster than the guy ahead.
Oh, Larsson goes off. That's the second time he done that. Actually, he had a very unfortunate contact there, I think, on the...
That was wild.
On the
wild
chicane.
ride.
Yeah, so Peter is up 14 position. Could that be right?
Peter David?
Yeah, it says that on the screen.
Yeah, I believe that's true.
Yeah, it would be great. Peter David on for the win on silver. That would be awesome for him. Let's see what he plays.
He's got
last.
9 minutes. 9 minutes to get by Stuart Charles. So, you know, he must be like really excited right now.
And now this is far into the race. I mean, we're into the last 10 minutes and they've been driving 50 minutes. Last best position for Peter before is a P4. And he didn't race the last race. So maybe he rested himself into form. Now he just have to wait for a mistake here. Let's see what the times they're doing. So Peter is just 1/10 faster on that lap. And Stewart's and Peter's best laps are identical. And here comes Peter.
Yeah, he's got the momentum now. He just needs to plant his car on the inside.
There he comes.
Does he have the balls? Does he have the balls for this? Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Oh,
Great
that
job.
was a great move.
That was an amazing move. And, you know, also Stuart he squeezed him a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, it was all fair.
I want to relive that. I'm going to do a replay on that.
He really made Peter work for that one. That was great.
And Peter is such a kind of soft-spoken professor type guy, and but here he really put his fighting face on.
Yeah, and you know, you saw that. You saw the way Peter he moved out from the slipstream of Stuart Charles because he was clearly a little bit faster. So the same thing happened with Terry Trowbridge and Paolo Nove, except Terry moved over. He didn't let him by. He moved over. I mean, you know, it's his prerogative to move over, but he caused the accident.
Right.
In my view. Even though that Paolo was the car behind, Paolo had the momentum, and you know but that was a great move by Peter David. Brilliant stuff. And you can see him just pull away now, probably from Stuart. Good stuff.
Here comes Messick. Got to challenge Stuart Charles. Stuart have really lost some pace here. Here comes Shannon. Oh, Shannon makes contact.
Yeah, he's spun around. He's backwards. Oh, and Peter Wolfschleiner had to take avoiding action there. That was the leader of the race.
Oh, that would have been unfortunate.
Aaron, you're going to do a little spin turn here. Let's see. Yeah, so now he's going to do a 3-point turn. He's going to do a Austin Powers. Here we go. Yeah, he is. He's going the right direction.
Yeah,
that was good stuff. He held the brakes and he waited to see where there was a gap.
And he was the one that made the contact there. So I think he paid for it dearly. So let's see, Sharpenberry up in P5 challenging Mirpanov. We haven't seen much from him. Panov is up 4 positions. Sharpenberry clearly fast. I wish if he would have stayed with the championship here, this is his second race only, he would have been very up in the standings. Oh, Mike Mileski got terminal damage, so then he got teleported. Doesn't count as pit stop.
Oh, Andy Driscoll just made a huge mistake on the exit of the chicane, and He's just done a 360. He doesn't hit anything, but I'm sure his tires are like completely shot now. But that was pretty spectacular. Been there, done that.
I'm doing a replay on him coming up into the chicane.
Yeah. So he gets the line into the chicane all wrong, goes over the curbs, and it bounces him around, like you said, like a kangaroo, and he has nowhere to go but like a spinning top.
Oh, at least he didn't hit anything.
Yeah, and he got it all wrong on the exit.
Four minutes left. Peter has 9 seconds to Johan Larsson behind. Yeah, he was lucky he wasn't taken out there. That could have changed this whole situation.
Yep.
Peter Davids is now 6 seconds ahead of Stuart Charles. So very nicely done there by Peter. Great result. So yeah, what do you think? I mean, I could say Peter David as the driver of the day, maybe.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think he's done an absolutely stellar job. He's done clean driving, consistent racing, clean overtaking. He's been patient, and 57 minutes into the race, or 55 minutes into the race, he takes the lead in his class. And assuming that he finishes in that spot, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree at all. What do you think in the chat? Driver of the day for Peter David?
At least he had 2 votes so far. Stuart Charles is not having a good race now all of a sudden. Look at that. He had some sort of an issue. Let's see what happened.
And Andy Driscoll has crashed again. He's having a complete... It's a mess in that AMG. It's yeah.
What happened with Stuart?
7-2-2.
Yeah, white flag means that he's driving slow all of a sudden.
Yep.
Oh, he's oversteer. Just weird. He didn't even go up on the curb. Wow. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Wow. Yeah, he's had an issue basically where he's spun the tires and they're red hot, and as he's turned in, he's just gone around like a top.
So Sharp and Barry looked to do some gains on Mears, but no. Johan Larsson actually gets an extra point then, because he still sits with a... No, that doesn't make sense. I see the best... Peter Wolfslander has 144.1. But Johan Larsson have the marker for the best 140. That doesn't make sense. I don't understand that. Oh, what happens with Peter David now? Okay, he yielded for Peter Wolfslander. Okay.
Tommy Hellstrom just spun, and that was once again coming out of that last part of the chicane. He jumped over the curve and it spun him around, almost identical to that previous incident that we saw.
So I think the time gonna run out here while Peter is on this lap. So this might be then 30 seconds left. So if the time runs out now, this gonna be in his last lap then.
Yep.
And actually Peter David is then sitting behind him. So will Peter then have another lap? I'm never clear on that stuff.
No, as soon as he crosses the finish line, it'll be over. Okay, so we have 10 seconds left. So Peter Wolfslander is going to cross the finish line and win this race. And so this is the last lap, basically. We'll have 2 Peters in P1. That's never happened before either.
That has never happened. That's a first.
We like firsts.
So there he comes. There's Wolfslener, yet another win.
Yeah, very well earned.
Unbelievable race.
Great race from pole position.
Yeah, and
Domination.
second, Johan Larsson. And Steve Young did P3 for this race.
Yeah, and Peter David has crossed his finish line as well. He's won his class.
Yeah, and Peter David, and then Messick and Colomb, the 3 silver drivers. Let's see if we can get some Peter David is... I jump over to the interview screen and see if we can get some... I'm gonna mute that screen and let's get Peter David in and see if, keep an eye if Wolfslener shows up. Hey, Peter David.
I'll put him in.
Peter
Hello.
David, the winner of the silver
I didn't
group.
even
Winner,
that.
chicken dinner.
Oh, stop it. Actually, that was interesting. I was a bit curious. What happened to the guys who were in front? Did they take longer on their pit stops?
You beat them.
No, I understand that, but I had Richard and Mr. Messick and Richard Coulomb in front of me before the pit stops. So what happened there?
Yeah, good question. I wonder if I can see that here.
I wonder if they had damage, because I had damage, but then I said, I'm going to not repair and keep going and we'll see what happens, because I was only losing a little bit of time. But anyway, it was fun and nerve-wracking as usual.
I think that you were just really consistent. You were consistently quick, mate. You used your brain. You overtook with patience, and you got your elbows out. I thought that was brilliant, mate. I believe that you have been voted as driver of the day. So congratulations, man. You deserve it.
Well, thank you. Well, anyway, what I did is I followed, during the practice runs, I would follow Derek Bird, and I also followed Peter, because I was looking at his lines, and yes, the cars are different, but there's certain things that I just picked up from both of them, so I was very thankful for that. So thank you, guys.
Yeah, really, really good race.
Okay. Good day to you guys.
All right, we have Mr. Peter Wolfslener in the chat as well. Congratulations, Peter.
Just Peter is nice. It's enough.
Congratulations, Peter, also.
Thank you also, Peter.
Thank you. Very nice.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, you're dominating. Dominating again, just doing your thing.
Dominating is not the right word. Actually, it's we have practiced a lot together with Johan Larsson, Patrick, and also Tommy. So the last few minutes, Johan and myself, we just try to find some words to cool down Tommy. He has this, we practice about 30, 40 pit stops, and then it happened to him that he has speeded.
Yep, he had a drive-through, yeah.
Yeah. Even as SG30, right? Did he?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. It was a 30 seconds.
No, you saw
it happens.
Pardon me?
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and I actually mentioned that before the stream. If you haven't practiced a pit stop on this particular track, you might be in trouble, because that 50 kilometer comes really quick.
Yes, but we had practiced it as all of us, and we watched each other and looked slow motion and where's the breaking point. We really built the setup just this morning, and so the final one we have tested a lot, because we wanted really to have a good team performance here, and unfortunately Tommy and Patrick had some incidents, but this happens.
Yeah, I mean, you really spend a lot of time preparing, right?
Yeah, all of us actually. It is fun, and the race is one thing, and the preparation we enjoy. All of us. We are in the team chat, and we helping each other and building the setups together and testing and looking into. We have even signed up Popometer. We can analyze this our tracks, our laps, and who is having where an advantage or a disadvantage. So we are really deep into it, and this is part of the fun. Actually, prepare everything for the race day, and And yeah.
Yeah, that's really impressive. So and clearly it's paying off too. So
Yes. Unfortunately, some other very fast guys not here today, like Chris Moses and also Mr. Maris.
yeah, Moses had another appointment today.
Yeah,
which was unfortunate.
I read about it. But unfortunately, so it's a little bit, how to say, interfering in the championship as well. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, everyone gets to drop a race, so it's an equal.
But he had a disconnect already. As long as I know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the pity.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt.
But anyhow,
All right. Well, thank you. I mean,
thank you also.
for the entertainment masterclass as usual. And next race is Spa.
Yeah,
That's a
let's
classic
see. I
track.
didn't drive the McLaren there. After it's nerfed, I think I hope it's a little bit more equal than before.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Thank you very much,
All right,
gentlemen.
thank you.
Krista and
Sure.
Jonathan. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
And we'll
Cheers.
see you at Spa next week.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
So thank you, everyone that's been watching this race. I really appreciate it. We're going to have Spa next week. This is eSeniors. It's a league of racers, 50 years and older. You can find us on SIMGRID as well as Facebook, Discord, and so on. Try to connect, get age verified, and enjoy some racing with us. So have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks to sponsors, Sim3D, Castle & Cauldron, and Syndeo. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.